Hello, welcome, bienvenidos a Español 2. If you're watching this, you're probably a parent from Gunn High School. I unfortunately could not be there today, but you are getting this awesome, amazing digital version that you guys can keep and reference to, so that is also a plus. I'm a split position teacher, meaning that I teach here at Gunn, but also at Pali, which is why I couldn't be here today. I'm over there doing back to school night, but yeah, welcome. My name is Maestra Bree. A little bit about me. Here are some pictures that I've included. I also showed these to all students so that they can get to know me, humanize me a little bit. I am a person. Yeah, so I am a daughter of immigrant parents, both immigrated from Mexico. They came here to give me a better life, and that is exactly what they've done. I did undergrad at UCLA, which is this picture right here. Amazing experience, I absolutely loved it. From there, I did a graduate program at Stanford University, where I got my master's in education and a credential in Spanish. I recently just graduated this past June, meaning I am a first year teacher. I have done a lot of teaching, or I have a lot of teaching experience behind me, but this is like my first official first year as the teacher of the classroom, which has been amazing and fun and something that I've hoped and wished for since I was a very, very little girl. A little bit more about me. I am originally from Los Angeles, California. Go Dodgers. Yeah, born and raised there, absolutely loved it, but the Bay ended up winning my heart after spending a year here at Stanford. A little bit more about me. I love traveling. I've gone to many different countries, and I think that's something that I want to continue doing. It's part of who I am as a teacher as well. I love exploring cultures and languages and different foods, and that's something that your students will be immersed in as well this year, just getting to learn about different cultures, especially in Hispanic countries, Spanish-speaking countries. Yeah, that's a little bit about me. We're going to go into the nuts and bolts of things. So things we will cover in class. I'm sure you guys are all wondering. Essentially, we have 6 themes. The first one being review of Spanish 1, because your students are currently in Spanish 2, which is what we're wrapping up currently. We spent 2 weeks reviewing, making sure they're refreshed with all of that. And then we will go into city life, travel, then and now, lifestyle, technology, food and society, and celebrations. And within that, there's going to be many other lessons, but these are the overall themes. Essentially 3 being this semester, 3 being next semester, but give or take, we'll see how the semester plays out. Also down here, as you may see, homework will only be assigned if students do not finish classwork. I think the best way to learn is to be practicing within class and asking questions. So if you do not speak Spanish at home, I do not expect you to help your student with homework, meaning I won't deliberately ask them to do homework at home unless there's classwork that they didn't finish. But I don't want to put that workload on you. Because if we don't know Spanish at home, then it will be a little bit harder. Okay, going into how I will grade things, the percentages on here are not accurate, so sorry about that. But I will be assessing on the 3 modes of communication. That will make up 80% of your student's grade. The summative of these 3 categories. The other 20% will be formative assignments. So what are they doing in class? The work that is forming them to prepare them for their summative assessments. But we have interpersonal, which is person-to-person conversations. Typically, it is spontaneous conversations. How well can your student communicate with another person? How well can they carry a conversation in the target language? Number 2, interpretive, we have listening, reading, and viewing. How are they interpreting text? How are they interpreting pictures that they are seeing? Things like that. Presentational is one-way communication, so they are presenting to an audience, whether it be they're recording a video or they're presenting to small groups or they're presenting to the whole class. I know a lot of our students are a little bit hesitant to presenting in front of the whole class, but we will ease into that. I was one of those students who was not a fan of presenting into whole classes, but look at me now. I'm a teacher and I am doing this every day. So we will be practicing that, yeah. And then on the right side, I put I'm not assessing if a student can memorize words, but rather how well they can use the words they learned to communicate. Meaning I want to see how they can apply this to the real world. So can they order food in Spanish? Can they ask where the restroom is in Spanish? That is the goal, to get them to use Spanish in their day-to-day life and be able to communicate, not just to memorize vocabulary words that they don't know how to use in sentences, right? So you may be questioning, or you may be asking yourself, or you may not be, but how can you support your student? There are 3 ways I think that you could support your student. One being encouraging practice outside of class. You may not know Spanish, and that is okay. So something that I would recommend would be like, oh, what did you learn in Spanish class today? Or how would you say this object in Spanish? So then they're teaching you. They become the teachers. I think that's one way that they can practice and will benefit them very, very, very much. So ask them questions. What did they learn in Spanish? They might be like, I don't know, nothing. But kind of ask them for translations. How do you say table in Spanish? Or how do you say backpack? Things like that, very small words, and that can help you learn a little bit, but it could also help our students continue practicing, right? And number 2, promote consistency. Even though homework is not assigned, unless classwork wasn't finished, please encourage your students to review notes, vocabulary for a few minutes. It says each night. It depends on how often they would like to, but yes, everything that I teach is posted on Schoology. All of my slides are posted. It is all labeled by week, color-coded as well. So if your student has any questions about what to do for what assignment or things like that, everything, directions, handouts, notes, everything is posted on Schoology. So please remind them to continue looking at Schoology, reviewing the slides. That will greatly benefit them. And number 3, stay engaged. So ask what they're learning in class. Like I said earlier, encourage them to participate actively. That's one way that we can continue growing our language, is participation. I know it's a little nerve-wracking at first, but the more they participate, the more it gets engraved in our brains. Yeah, that's 3 ways that you could best support your student. Let's see if it comes up. Oh, it's lagging on me. Progress over perfection. Let's emphasize that too. I want students to have progress, to continue growing. They do not need to be perfect. They do not need to have the correct pronunciation of words. I just want them to continue practicing, and eventually we'll get to like higher levels, but progress over perfection. Okay, a successful student in my class. This is what I think I would want to see. Number 1, engaged, like we talked about in the last slide. The more engaged a student is, the more they will be learning. So participating in class activities. So far, everyone has been amazing with that. So thank you so much. Open-minded, one of my biggest rules that I've told students is open mind, open heart. Just be open to what I'm here to teach you. But yeah, embrace mistakes as part of the learning process. We are going to make so many mistakes. I do not want them to feel embarrassed or shy that they messed up. I want to hear those mistakes so that we can help correct as a class. Number 3, curious. Ask questions, please. Because if they have a question, someone else in the class probably has questions. I try to encourage that a lot. Ask a lot of questions. I don't know everything, so sometimes students have asked me something and I'm like, I don't know. Then we look things up together, because at the end of the day, I'm not someone who knows everything. I want them to know that I can make mistakes too. Keeping ourselves open-minded, we all make mistakes. Number 4, being respectful to classmates, the teacher, and the learning process. We've talked about something called Inlakesh in our class. If you do not know what it is, I would recommend you look it up, or ask your student, because we have covered that a lot in class. Inlakesh is something that promotes respect towards classmates, towards the teacher, towards the learning process, and it's something I want them to keep at the top of their head at all times. Yes. And number 5, active. Uses Spanish in small everyday ways outside of class. Very beneficial. So what are we doing in class? These are some of the slides of stuff that we've been covering. We always start every single day with a pregunta del día. The pregunta del día is always in Spanish, just a small community builder to get them to start talking with their partners or small groups depending on the day. And they usually have something to do with what we will learn. For example, this question here talks about where they would like to go if they could travel anywhere within like a Spanish speaking country. And they talked about it, but they didn't know that they were starting to use the verb to go, which in Spanish is ir. And so it's just kind of, putting it in there, what we're going to start learning throughout the day, but still having fun with it. That's one of my biggest goals, is that students have fun while learning. I don't want them to dread coming to class. I want them to be excited or to look forward to like coming to Spanish class and learning a little bit. I like to gamify a lot of what we learn so that learning feels more fun. I've told them a lot, learning is not just opening a book and reading it, it's more so doing. How can we learn by doing? So we do a lot of games. So Juego de Pizarra was one of them. We also have just completed one of our first assignments, which was a video of them talking. And they work in groups a lot. I like to foster a place where there's great community. But yeah, we do some workbook activities here and there because it is important as well. So just having that balance between the two. This is work that we do in our Spanish 1 class, so we don't have to worry about that. All right, questions? None? Wow, you guys are so amazing. Put your hands down, not all at once. I'm just kidding. If you do have questions, I would be more than happy to answer them or to set up an appointment during my prep if you need. But this is my email, breyes@pausd.edu. You are more than welcome to message on there, and we can talk further about how I can help you. All right, thank you so much. Please feel free to reach out, okay?